You too. What's good, your boy? Everything Waters, everything my familiar. Season of the Witch is here. I'm gonna be giving you guys a very broken endgame meta void hunter build for any Nightfalls. If you guys like this type of video, man, please leave a like and subscribe. Let's get straight into the video. Starting off with our build, we're going to be talking about the legendary Orpheus rigs. Now, the Orpheus rigs is such a really good broken exotic. It used to be broken before they nerfed it a long time ago, but it's still good and it's endgame exotic, endgame meta. Well, basically what this does is provide ability energy for each target tethered by a Deadfall anchor. Morbius quiver has additional slot. So basically when you're using Deadfall anchor, my apologies, you want to be making sure you're using that with this build. You do not want to use Morbius quiver because you get an extra shot. There's no point in that. You want to be able to tether enemies. Also with with Deadfall anchor, any enemy that's tethered gives you super energy back, and that's about like 50%. So maximum you can get is half your super. So if there's a lot of enemies that are tethered, you get half your super, and it's crazy. This is a really good exotic. Being able to tether enemies and you get your super probably like every minute or so. And when you're playing against when you're in Grandmaster Nightfalls, or you're in any very hard like 1830 level content, being able to get your super that can debuff all enemies is insane, very insane, and it goes perfect. This exotic goes perfect with our exotic weapon, the Wish Ender. Now for an exotic weapon, you guys have it, the Wish Ender. Probably the most used like exotic for endgame content because it's just so good. It's just so good. And when you pair this up with the Orpheus rigs, this literally makes this build a 10 out of 10. Like, this is a perfect build, a literal perfect build. The Wish Ender gives you burial, can stun burial champions, which is crazy. This also gives you super energy on kill or on hit from enemies. And then when you pair it up with and it's also it does crazy damage too. Really, really good damage. And when you pair this with the Orpheus rigs, when you do a tether, any damage you hit with one enemy that's in a tether hits with all of them. And you get more super energy doing that, which is crazy. So you're gonna get your super right after you shoot it. You're gonna get your super depending on the amount of enemies you have. You're gonna get your super in about like 30 to 40 seconds. It's insane. Use these two exotics with this build. You need to. This is very important. So now we're gonna get into the aspects, the fragments, and the subclass of this build. Let's get it. Alright, coming in for our subclass, we're going to be using the Deadfall anchor. Instead of any of these other ones like Morbius quiver or blade dance, with tether you want to be able to use Deadfall anchor. This is going to give you the most super energy, and it's going to be able to tether the most enemies, which is pretty cool. And then we're going to be using Gambler's Dodge. You want to be able to reload your melee so you can get your melee and weaken enemies, because that's what your melee does. Your smoke bomb weaken enemies. You're going to be using Vortex Grenade for your grenade. I prefer Vortex Grenade. Any other grenade is cool, but in my opinion, this is probably the best one. For our aspects, we're going to be using Style Executioner. Defeating a weakened, suppressed, or voluntary target grants invisibility and true sight. After performing a stylish execution, your next melee attack while invisible weakens targets. This is pretty cool. With with snare bomb, you're gonna be weakening enemies. So a stylish executioner with your Wish Ender, you're gonna be taking enemies down, granting invisibility. That's the most important thing. You want to be able to be weaken enemies and still be able to have invisibility at the same time, which is pretty cool. Also, we're going to be using Vantage Step. All it is dodging makes you invisible. Being invisible is a very, 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 very good thing in any content of the game. Not being able to be seen or get hit. I mean, some shots do hit you, but you know what I'm saying, pretty good. Now, starting off with our fragments, we're going to be using Echo of Vigilance. Defeating a target while your shields are depleted grants you a temporary void overshield. This is good, again, you in endgame content. So when you lose your shield, being able to just to kill any enemy that's weakened gives you an overshield. It's really, really good. Being able to survive as long as possible is good with any build. Also, we're going to be using Echo of Expulsion. Void ability, final blows cause the targets to explode. This is pretty cool too. Again, when you're using snare bomb and you throw it down and you shoot them, or use any void weapons and they explode, which increases the damage. That's cool, and it gives me more intellect, so that's also a good thing. Then here's a really good important one, Echo of Starvation. Picking up a Void Beach or Overpowered grants you Devour. Now Devour feasts on energy of defeating foes. Final blows restores you to full health, grants grenade energy, and extends Devour. Again, once you pick up the orb, because you're gonna make a couple of them, you're gonna get Devour. Or if you pick up a Void Beach, you get Devour, which grants you full health on kills from enemies, and it also extends to Devour, which is pretty cool. And last but not least, we're going to be using Echo Persistence. Void buffs applies to you. Invisibility, Overshield, or Devour have increased duration. You want to be able to heal to full health as much as possible, and you want to be able to stay invisible as much as possible. So these are my fragments, my aspects, and my abilities. Now I'm going to be showing you guys my stats, my artifacts, and my mods. Alright, for my artifact that you guys can see, you want to make sure you want to be using Elemental Orbs Void while your Void subclass where weapon final blows have a chance to spawn a Void Elemental Orb, which damage makes enemy voluntary. So this is really good. Make sure you have that. Also, these artifacts are important, like Elemental Fury, which is pretty cool. While stunned champions take damage from your abilities on mental orbs. They also have an overload machine gun, which is pretty cool too. And I'm also having rapid fire ranger, which is also cool. Now going into my stats, you guys can see I'm gonna go on max resilience. Always go max resilience. You can go max mobility too instead of intellect, but at the same time I want to get my super as fast as possible. So for me, I would have take out discipline and just added more to mobility if you want to, but you want to max out your intelligence, which gives you your super a lot faster, and you want to max out your resilience because you're in endgame content. You don't want to die. So that's what I would do. I'm going discipline because that's how my build is set up. Kind of, I mean, my armor stats is kind of set up. I can't really like fix it, but if you can get better armor stats like me, you want to go mobility, resilience, and intellect. That's perfect for these builds. Anything else is, because as long as you get resilience and intellect, that's all that matters in my opinion. So that's pretty cool. Now for mods is just simple. You guys can screenshot this if you want. I have emergency reinforcement for my chest piece. You want to be able to heal some of your, when an overpower is dropped, you want to be able to heal from that overpower, which is pretty cool. And then all this other, so like I said, screenshot this. That's it for the video. If you guys like this type of video, man, please leave a like and subscribe. It's your boy Everything Water, and I'm out.